Hey everybody, welcome to another week of math lessons. Here's what you're going to need for today's lesson. You're going to need something to write with, like a pen or a pencil, and then you're also going to need something to write on, like paper. All right, so how to do it. First, you're just going to be listening to what we're doing. And then when I say pause, you can pause the video to try and solve the problem on your own. And below this, in this Google form, are the questions. So you could pause it and type your answers if you want to challenge yourself. And then you can see how I did it and check your answers. Because you can do this form multiple times. Your goal is to try and get 100%. So after you pause it, solve it yourself, and then check the answer with me. All right, so our goal for this week is to be doing fraction problems that are tenths and hundredths. And that's going to be important because we're going into decimals. So tenths, if there is one whole that has 10 pieces, each piece is worth 1/10. Now imagine there was another one here and it was chopped up into 100 pieces. One of those little tiny pieces would be 100th. So every tenth would be worth 10 hundredths. So that is going to be our goal for today. Tenths and hundredths. All right, so here's some examples of tenths and hundredths. You should have already watched that video where you saw some 10 frames and 100 frames. This one, let's see, there is 10 pieces in it, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them are shaded in. So it would be 6/10. This one has the same area shaded. You can still see, look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's also 6/10, but each tenth has been chopped up 10 times. So it's 10 times as many pieces altogether. So it would be 100th. And how many are shaded in? You can say it, 60. So 6/10 and 6/100 are equivalent. Here's some other little examples. I can see this one is 100 pieces. So I know that it's going to be out of 100. That's really small. Make it bigger. That doesn't help. Let's just try and write small. So I know it's going to be out of 100. How many red ones are shaded? Let's see, 10, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. So it would be 26/100. Let's see this one. How many pieces are there altogether? 10. So I know it's going to be tenths. How many are shaded? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4/10. If I chopped it this way 10 times, it would make 40/100. 4/10, 40/100 are equivalent. Here's another 100th. I'm looking at the ones up above, by the way. And I can see 10, 20, 30, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45. 45/100. What do you think this one's going to be? How many pieces are there? 10. So it's tenths. How many are shaded? 1. So it's 1/10. So hopefully you're understanding tenths and hundredths. If you're still having trouble, you can go back to that last video and watch that again. All right, so now we're going to do some of the problems. These are going to be really similar to your comprehension check. And the questions are below too. So your first round, try and do them on your own before I check, and then you can go back. So number 1, decide if each equation is true. Choose true or false for each equation. 7/10 plus 7/100 is the same as 77/100. True or false? 6/100 plus 2/10 is the same as 62/100. True or false? 9/100 and 3/10 is the same as 93/100. True or false? 5/10 plus 3/100 equals 53/110. True or false? So go ahead, pause it, and solve it. All right, welcome back. Let's take a look at these. So we're deciding if it's true or false. So I see 7/10 and 7/100. So let's see, I know 7/10 is going to be the same as, if I do the top and bottom by 10, those are supposed to be tenths. 7/10 is the same as 70/100. And then I have 7/100. Is 70 plus 7 77? Yes. So this one would be true. 7/10 is the same as 70/100, so it's 77/100 true. 6/100 plus 2/10 is 62/100. Well, right away, I know 2/10 is going to be the same as 20/100, and 20/100 plus 6/100 is going to be 26/100. It's not going to be 62/100. So this one you should have selected false. 9/100 plus 3/10, same thing again here. 9 plus 30, remember, every tenth is worth 10/100, so 3/10 is 30/100, and 30 plus 9 is 39, not 93. So that one's going to be false too. And this one right away, 5/10 plus 3/100. Why is that of 110? We're only doing tenths and hundredths, if you remember the learning goal. So you should have had true, false, false, false. These are pretty hard. Amy buys 3/10 of a pound of cheese. Alex buys 70/100 of a pound of cheese. Which model represents the amount of cheese that Amy and Alex buy altogether? Is it A, B, C, or D? Right away, I see a tenth that I'm going to have to make into 100th. So ready, set, pause, and solve. All right, welcome back. Let's check your answer. What did you choose? Interesting choice. Let's see. Amy bought 3/10. I know 3/10 is the same as 30/100. So which one of these models shows? So I see 3/100 and 3/100. So only these two show, because I see 10, 20, 30. So 3/10 or 30/100. And this one also shows 10, 20, 30. So it's got to be one of those two, because Amy had 30/100, 3/10 of a pound of cheese. Alex, the cheese hog, has 70/100. So which one of these? This one shows 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But that would only be 7/100. Remember, we're looking for 70/100, which would be the same as 7/10. So this one shows 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7/10, which is 70/100. So if you chose B, nice job. They bought 1 whole pound of cheese. Amy bought 3/10. Alex bought 70/100. Adds up to 100/100, which is 1 whole pound of the cheese. Number 3, Marcus plants daffodils in 6/10 of his garden and sunflowers in 11/100 of his garden. Which expression shows how to find the total fraction of the garden in which Marcus plants daffodils and sunflowers? Choose all the correct answers. 6/10 plus 11/100, 6/10 plus 1/10, 60/100 plus 11/100, 16/100 plus 11/100, or 60/10 plus 11/100. Ready, pause, and solve. All right, welcome back. Let's check how you did. So let's see, right away, I know I want to get my tenths and hundredths to the same thing, but it does say choose all the correct ones. And this first one is correct because 6/10 and 11/100. That's what we're adding, 6/10 and 11/100 and the total. So I'll be adding those two things up to get my total. 6/10, oh, that seems pretty good. 1/10. No, 11/100 is not the same as 1/10. So can't be that one. 60/100 plus 11/100. Is 6/10 the same as 60/100? Let's check. 6/10. To make it into 100, then I times the top and bottom by 10, because 10 times 10 is 100, and 6 times 10 is 60. 60/100. So 60/100 plus 11/100. Yeah, C works. D, 16/100. No, because 6/10 is not the same as 16/100. It's the same as 60/100. And E, 60/10 plus 11/100. No, 60/10 would be way more than 1. It's 60/100, not 60/10. So can't be that one. So if you said A and C, good work. All right, last challenge problem from me. Aiden paints 4/10 of a fence. Drew paints 4/100 of the same fence. What fraction of the fence do they paint in all? Show your work. So you can go ahead and pause it and solve it. Welcome back. So we're doing 4/10 plus 4/100. Drew didn't paint very much, did he? 4/100 is a very small amount. Aiden painted 4/10, so let's make a number line. A really bendy, terrible number line. So here's where they paint 0 amount of the fence. So Aiden paints 4/10. So 1/10, 2/10, 3/10, 4/10. But I'm probably going to want to make that into hundreds. So remember, it'd be 10 times as much. It'd be 10/100, 20/100, 30/100, 40/100. So let's think of it as 40/100, just so that our units are the same. And then Drew, lazy guy, only painted 4/100. So that would be, imagine 10 jumps inside each of these 1 jumps. If each of these is 1/10, Drew only does 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4 little baby jumps for 4 more hundredths would get us to 44/100. So all together they painted 44/100. You can see the key in this is being able to get a 10th to a 100th by multiplying the top and bottom by 10. All right, so your next steps. If you missed some problems on this form, go back and try it again until you get 100%. And once you feel like you're pretty good at it, you can do your I already comprehension check. And we'll see how you do on that. Nice job on your work last week. Good luck on your tenths and hundredths, because this is really going to help you with decimals. So you want to be good at these tenths and hundredths for next week. All right. See you later.